And so the idea is it's something that's kind of a low risk option for people to try. You don't have to invest a ton of time. You don't have to invest a ton of money, and you can try out some of the things that you're thinking about that you might package into a bigger product. That then leads kind of to the other big advantage of it is that these workshops are a great way to test out ideas. So when I'm talking to people and coaching people who are going to create an online course and aren't quite sure of what to do, I've lately been saying, well, why don't you try to run a workshop?
Welcome to the Online Genius Podcast, where host and renegade-thinking beer-brewing lawyer turned online entrepreneur Bobby Klinck proves that building and protecting your online genius doesn't have to be rocket science. Bobby and his expert guests break down online marketing and the legal stuff so you can stop sweating the small stuff and get back to building your amazing business. Now, here's your host, Bobby Klinck.
Hey there, welcome to episode 113 of the Online Genius Podcast. I'm your host, Bobby Klinck, and I'm really excited for today's show. In today's show, we're going to be talking about a concept and a type of product and sales mechanism that I'm using a lot in my business. It's become, in a sense, the foundation for what I'm going to be doing this year and next year going forward. And specifically, we're going to be talking about paid workshops, so paid online workshops. And we're going to talk about how they can fit into your business, kind of what they are, what are the advantages, why are they things that I really like for my business, but also why I think they might have an important role for your business and how you can use them. And then aside from kind of talking about what they are, I'm going to talk about how I believe, you can use them as stepping stones on your customer's journey or a sales mechanism and ways to kind of use them to get value in your business. So that's what we're going to be talking about. And we're going to be talking about it because you're going to be hearing me talk a lot about workshops going forward because I'm running monthly workshops. Now, the December workshop, you can't register for it yet, but it's going to be all about how to set a content plan for your business for 2020 and to set it up in a way that is kind of meant to not just be easy to execute, but also to kind of rev up your sales. So to kind of create content that meshes with what you're doing in a sales perspective or a promotions perspective so that you have everything you need for a breakthrough year in 2020. Like I said, you can't register for it yet, but in the meantime, if you haven't registered for my business building boot camps, those are absolutely free. You should go over and do it because the business building boot camps has foundations of content strategy, but also list building. So you should definitely get that. You can get access by going to bobbyklinck.com/BB bootcamps. Again, bobbyklinck.com/BB bootcamps. And in there, you'll find, like I said, a section about content strategy and developing a content strategy, as well as a section about list building. So they are kind of foundational boot camps that you need. So with that, I want to dive into talking about paid workshops. And first, I want to talk about what a workshop is, because maybe you've never run across it or you've never heard of it. A workshop is, in some sense, you could think of it as a very small, bite-sized online course. Or you could think of it as a webinar or masterclass that people pay to be on and that isn't itself a sales pitch. So it's about providing content and providing knowledge. They can run anywhere from, I would say an hour or more. Some people have done multi-day workshops. Some people kind of really do these big events and maybe we'll do day one where there's some homework with only a little bit of kind of time together, and then day two where there's really kind of a virtual meetup. So there are different ways to structure it, but the concept is that they are events that you would do live. Now, yes, you'll give people replay access and they can have it, but you're simply going to deliver what amounts to a very small, bite-sized online course live in the format of something like a webinar, but again, without the sales pitch. So that's what a workshop is. With that background, I want to talk about why I really love these. And they've been starting to really pick up steam in the industry lately. Some of my coaches are talking about them, are using them, are running them, et cetera. And so I kind of, started listening to it and I said, aha, I really like the idea of these workshops. And there's a couple of things that I want to talk about as kind of the really big advantages that I see where they fit in for everybody. You've heard me lately on the podcast talk a lot about the need to take action, that a lot of times entrepreneurs end up kind of paralyzed in inaction. And so they're not taking action, they're not doing things. And I find that a lot of times that is because of fear, because of uncertainty, and also because, let's say you want to launch a big online course. That is a daunting task, and it can feel daunting to try to take that on and try to create it when you don't even know necessarily, for example, whether it's going to be successful. And so because of that, people end up not taking action. Or also, candidly, look, if you're going to launch a signature course that's going to cost $1,000 or something like that, chances are you either need to have a list or you're going to need to spend a lot of money on ads, and that can seem daunting to people. And so it's this kind of catch-22 where people are afraid to take action until they get some validation that they're on the right track. Yet at the same time, they can't get that validation until they take action. So they're in this kind of loop of inaction. And to me, workshop courses or workshops are a perfect solution to this problem. Because you think about it, a workshop is not something that you are going to spend, months of your life developing, creating, recording, trying to perfect, trying to do all of those different things. It needs to be good content, but you're going to deliver it live in a webinar format. It's going to be about, for most people, somewhere between an hour and a half and 2 hours of the actual live presentation. Again, you'll have to prepare slides in advance, prepare your information, prepare your content, but it's the kind of thing that you could easily do everything soup to nuts in less than a month. Realistically, if you spent one solid week on it, you could get it done. And even then, you shouldn't even have to spend an entire week doing it, especially once you get the flow going. And so the idea is, it's something that's kind of a low risk option for people to try. You don't have to invest a ton of time. You don't have to invest a ton of money, and you can try out some of the things that you're thinking about that you might package into a bigger product. That then leads kind of to the other big advantage of it, is that these workshops are a great way to test out ideas. So when I'm talking to people and coaching people who are going to create an online course and aren't quite sure of what to do, I've lately been saying, well, why don't you try to run a workshop? Just run a workshop on one topic, see how it works, see what the feedback is, see what people are saying. And maybe you run multiple workshops and see what people are responding to, see what people are really, saying that they want, that they love, etc. Because that then can help you to make sure that the bigger product, whether it's a course, a membership, or something else that you're creating, really meets the needs of the people you're serving and of your potential customers later on. So you can basically think of workshops as a low risk playground is what I think of them as. You get to go and try things out. And again, if you listen to my podcast episode a few weeks ago, it was one of the Foundations Fridays where I said, stop thinking, start acting. I specifically said, you need to try things and you're going to fail sometimes. And the advantage of workshops is if you launch a workshop and it doesn't work, it's like, okay, well, that wasn't the worst thing in the world, because you didn't invest all this time, all this money, all this effort into developing a signature product, which then flops. And so that's why kind of that unique combination of the fact that it's low risk, but a great way to test ideas, test concepts, I think make them kind of a perfect thing, a perfect first step for a lot of entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs who are getting into a new area. And so I am now suggesting it to just about everybody I talk to who is kind of stuck in neutral or not sure what to do. Is I say, hey, let's get a workshop out there and see how it goes. So those are the advantages. Now I want to talk about kind of 3 different ways that I think you can use workshops kind of even in a more fully developed business. because I'm using them. They're now going to be the core, a core part of my business. And so they're not just something that beginners can use. First, a workshop or workshops can be a great way to address and overcome obstacles or objections that would prevent people from buying your signature product. Let's say you have a signature course or membership that essentially is, let's say, a couple $1,000s for people to buy it, but there's a common objection, like a skill that people have to get or have to nail in advance before they're going to be willing or consider themselves ready to invest in your course. If that's the case, running a workshop in advance and making it a paid workshop in advance is a great idea. Now, my coach, James Wedmore, did this last summer before his launch of his signature product, Business by Design. I don't remember. I think Business by Design is it's multi-$1,000 product. And one of the things that he found, one of the common objections or obstacles that his team had been hearing from people about why they didn't buy is because they weren't sure of their niche. They weren't sure where they wanted to focus in building their business. So it's like, okay, well, great. Yeah, I can build a business by design, but I don't even know where I'm going to build it or what it's going to be about. So those people weren't ready. And so it makes sense that those people would not buy. So he had this idea that he launched a workshop that was called Nail Your Niche. And his promise was that by the end of the workshop, you would be crystal clear on your niche, or he would give you your money back. That was literally, he was doing a true risk reversal. And his marketing, as always, was just phenomenal because he is a phenomenal, he's great at messaging. But the concept was, he and his team saw that there was this constant objection or obstacle that people were talking about. And so what he did is he said, boom, we're going to create a workshop and we're going to get people past that. And you make that a very bite-sized option. Again, I think the standard price for that now, I think you can still buy it from him. I'm not sure, but I think the standard price is $297 or $397. I'm not sure, but he did a discount. He basically said, sign up for it for the live event, and I think he did $97. I'm not sure exactly, but you do a big discount to people who come live because you want people to come live. Because again, the point of this is not, when you're doing that approach, your point is not to make money on that actual workshop. You're trying to get people there live to do the work so that they knock down the obstacle that would otherwise prevent them from making the progress they need. So that's why if you're going to use one of these paid workshops as a way to knock down obstacles or objections, you should definitely price it in a way so that people are encouraged to show up live and do the work live. That way, you are actually getting them over kind of the hurdle of whatever it is that you need to help address. And so that is one great way that you could use a workshop in your business. So if you're finding that a lot of your customers aren't ready for your signature product because they lack one very concrete skill or one very concrete attribute, something that you could help them with through a workshop, creating a paid workshop and putting it out before your launch, sufficiently before your launch so that it's going to help them knock that obstacle down, is a great idea. And then here's the pro tip. You then tell them that the money, anyone who bought the workshop, you let them count whatever they paid you for that workshop against the cost of your signature course. Because again, the point of the workshop is not to make money there. The point of the workshop is to get people to, kind of get them ready for your course, your signature course. And so again, if you have like a $2,000 course and someone bought a $97 workshop, you should be very happy to give them a $97 credit to make the $1,900 that you'll make by them buying that course. So that's how I would structure it if you want to use it for that purpose of knocking down objections or obstacles. And that is a very powerful way to do it. I suspect that some of my friends in the industry who are saying that you need to have a certain sized email list before you sign up for a course may adopt this strategy going forward and start doing workshops to help people to address that and get to that list size in advance of the time they're going to launch their course. So I think we're going to see more of that, and I think it's a strategy that you could definitely use in your industry or, in your business. So that's kind of the first way that more advanced entrepreneurs can use it. The second way that you can use it is as a sales mechanism. And this is what I'm doing. So what I'm doing, my strategy is that I am offering monthly paid workshops. And the workshops have a couple of roles. They're not just a sales mechanism, they're also value for my product, because my signature product on the business side is my Fans First Society, which is a membership site. It is not an expensive membership site, but you have to give, you want to give value to people on a regular basis in a membership site. And yes, accountability and all of that is part of it. But I've also decided that everybody who's a member of Fans First will get access to all of my monthly paid workshops. So that is kind of value add to the membership. Now, because of that, my workshops play a couple of different roles here. Number one, the workshops become what's called a football phone for the membership. Now, if you're not familiar with the term football phone, it goes back to, I think it was in the 1980s, that Sports Illustrated, when they were trying to sell subscriptions of Sports Illustrated, their commercials weren't, and I think they even had infomercials, I don't know, but their commercials weren't about the subscription. Their commercials were all about, we want to give you this awesome, cool football phone, literally a phone that you would have in your house that was shaped like a football. And they were saying, it's worth whatever they said it was worth, and we're going to give it to you for free if you will sign up for, if you subscribe to the magazine. So that's what a football phone is, and it's a great way to sell an online membership. You basically say, I've got this thing that is really valuable, and I want to give it to you for free. All you have to do is join my membership. And so in some sense, my monthly workshops become that. So people are looking at it and they say, okay, yeah, I would really like to get that workshop. That sounds amazing. And I say, okay, well, you can either buy it for much more expensive, or you can join my membership and then you get it for free. And so just to give you a sense of how my pricing structure is going to work, you can get access when I'm promoting these workshops. People will either be able to buy the workshop for $101 because these are my one-on-one workshops, or they can sign up for a $1 trial of the Fans First Society and get access to the workshop for free. So if you think about it, the idea of if you're doing it in that way to try to sell a membership, you want to make it a no-brainer so that people say, yeah, I'll pay the $1 trial. And then you get them in because you should believe that your membership provides value, and that people are going to go to the first workshop and say, well, I want to make sure I keep getting this every single month because this is awesome. Plus all this other stuff in the membership is really good too. And so then it's a no-brainer that they want to stick around to actually kind of become a full paying member. So I'm in a sense combining two different mechanisms because I'm using these monthly workshops. So I'm combining the notion of a football phone and then also the $1 trial and putting them together to make it into what should be kind of a no-brainer choice for people. So that's how I'm using them in my business. And I think anybody could structure something similar if they wanted to. Now, you don't have to necessarily make it a $1 offer. You could make it, something else. I could have even just said, well, you can sign up for the workshop, which is $101, or you can sign up for the membership of Fans First, which is $47. So even without doing a $1 trial, you're telling people that they could basically get the workshop for half price if they sign up for the membership rather than buying the workshop individually. So you could do that without doing a discount. I'm simply combining the two because that's kind of how I operate. And, I think it makes it an even bigger or more irresistible offer. So that's part of it. Now, another part of the value here is that if you're using workshops as a sales mechanism, I want to be very clear. I think you should be very careful. Like, your workshop should not have a sales pitch in it. So it should not be like a webinar where you are selling most of the time. And the reason I say that is because if people have paid you to be on the workshop, it should be about delivering value to them. And it will naturally demonstrate to them that you are doing a good job. And you can follow up with emails the next week or the next day that offers them access to whatever your product is. But the advantage is it gives them a chance to really get in and see what your teaching style is. See that they like you. See that you're someone who they would like to learn from. It's the same concept as a webinar, but a bit more in depth, because they are seeing a presentation where you're simply teaching like you would teach in your course, in your membership, whatever your signature offer is. So that's kind of the second way you can use workshops, is as a sales mechanism. And again, you could structure it a lot of different ways, but generally what you're going to do is give the best way to do it, in my view, is in advance, give people the option to either, if it's a membership, either buy the workshop at a more expensive price or to join your membership at a cheaper price. And so that's going to be the way you're generally going to structure it. Generally, I don't think you would use a workshop as a sales mechanism to get people into a bigger course unless you were using it for the first purpose, which I talked about a second ago, which is as a way to address obstacles or objections. That's how you would use it in that context. Now, the final way that you can use workshops, and I say that there are probably more ways, but the next big way that you can use workshops is that they are great for bonuses. And they could be bonuses within your own course, within your own program. They could be things that you offer as affiliates if you do an affiliate launch for someone. And they're also things that you could provide for other peers to use like in their program. So to build connections with other people, with influencers in your space. It's kind of a no-brainer. If you're creating workshops, and if you do them consistently, especially, guess what? You end up with this huge backlog of things that you can package in a bunch of different ways, give people access to. And, if it's for a peer in the industry, maybe you do it live for their community rather than just giving them the recording. But you can do it either way. And the point is that you have this huge, catalog of stuff where you're creating valuable content that you can use other places. So some examples of this. My friend Amy Porterfield, she in November did a workshop that was all about how to plan your promo calendar for 2020. And so she did that workshop, and it was a bonus. I don't even know you call it a bonus. She offered it a couple of different ways. I mean, people could buy it, but also she was featured in a Forbes article during her launch of her signature product, and people could get access for free if they shared that and then shared a screenshot. And then also it is a bonus for people who are in her membership. So you can kind of see she's using it a lot of different ways. She used it as a marketing tool to get people to share a Forbes article. She's using it and she sells it to people, but also as a bonus inside her membership. Now, my workshops, because I'm going to be running them monthly, one of the things that I will likely do is package up my most popular workshops and include those as a package in my affiliate bonuses when I do affiliate launches in the future. So when I'm an affiliate for someone who's launching a course, I will look through my backlog or my backstock of workshops and say, well, which one of these is a good fit? Which one of these will help these people overcome an obstacle that they need, or will complement what my friend that I'm, promoting their course or their membership is about? And then I use those bonuses as a package. So it becomes a way to actually give value to people. And here's the advantage. Now, the last time that I did an affiliate bonus, I offered some of my paid products as bonuses. Most marketers will tell you shouldn't do that because then people can't buy them from you. And so long term, if you have things like these workshops, which, yes, theoretically you're selling, but for the most part, you're probably not selling many of them. But you can offer them, and you actually are providing a bunch of value because these workshops are valuable training, valuable information. And so you can do that and provide value to people who sign up through your affiliate link without cannibalizing your own products, without basically making it so that they would never want to buy from you. And again, a subtle thing, if you're doing it in a way like I am, where your workshops are then the football phone part of the value inside a membership site, for example, people who sign up through your affiliate link, who love the workshops that they get access to as bonuses, guess what? They are then going to be primed and you don't make an offer right away, but they would then be primed later on to buy into your membership site because they're like, whoa, these workshops are great. I want to make sure I continue to get them, all the new ones he comes out with in the future. And so that's kind of another way that you can use these workshops as bonuses for anything that you need a bonus for within your own business. So it could be a bonus for a launch, a bonus for something else you're doing, a bonus for affiliates, etc. And then, like I said, the next piece is to use it to connect with other influencers in your space, because you will have ready-made content that you can offer to people that, hey, if they want to include it within their course as a bonus, great. If they want to have you inside of their membership site, great. Either they can have the recorded thing or you can come and, do it live, like I said, because that will, almost always provide more value. So whichever works best for you and for kind of the peer you're talking with. But that's how you can use these bonuses even with your established business. So that's my take on workshops. And you can see why I love the idea of paid workshops. I think they're great for beginners because they're a great way to kind of test the waters in a low impact situation without feeling like, if it doesn't work that you failed. So it won't be this big, thing that will set you back. It's also, you test messaging and ideas in those. So you really can kind of, figure out what your audience wants. So it's very valuable there. But then they're also a great tool for more advanced marketers, more advanced entrepreneurs to use. It's a way to knock down obstacles for people who aren't quite ready for your signature course. Hey, offer a paid workshop. Give them a great deal, knock down that obstacle or objection, and then credit whatever they paid for that to buy your signature course. So you could put it as part of your launch strategy going forward. But also, like I said, you could use them for a sales mechanism. For a membership site especially, is a great way to do it as both a football phone of something they're going to get a value, also value you add to the membership on a regular basis, and also a way to give them a taste of what it's like to learn from you. And finally, workshops are great bonuses. They're a great thing that you can use as bonuses in your own programs or in other people's programs. So that's my take. Like I said, I'm making paid workshops a critical part of my marketing in 2020. I'm going to be running a workshop every single month. And I mentioned this before, my structure is going to be very simple because they're called the one-on-one workshops because we're all about, foundations and basics here. So you can buy it for $101 or you can do a $1 trial of my Fans First Society membership and get access to it for free. So combining the football phone and the $1 trial concept and using it that way. So be on the lookout. You'll hear about my monthly workshops and, if any of them appeal to you, I hope you'll join me. But I hope that you'll think about giving these workshops a try in the future because I think that no matter where your business is, a paid workshop is a great addition to your marketing plan. That's it for this episode. I'll see you back here Friday for another episode of a Foundations Friday. Talk to you then.
Thanks for listening to the Online Genius Podcast. Make sure to tune in next week for more great tips, tricks, and strategies to help you build and protect your online genius.